We can get to the good bits.
Okay. Good morning, conference. I'm Natalie Bennett, one of the two Green Party members of the House of Lords. And gosh, there are so many of you, and I can still see people pouring in at the back, that I can hardly see right to the back. In 2016, I was standing on this very stage, giving the Green Party's leader's speech, as Zach did yesterday. And wasn't that a wonderful speech he gave? And have you seen all the brilliant media coverage? Now I've got a great short job to do this morning, to introduce the two other members of our wonderful Green Party leadership team. In doing that, I'm going to give you a little insight into what their jobs are like. 10 years ago, conferences went on for 4 days. And I was puzzling everyone going around on that third day in Bournemouth saying, boy, I'm glad I didn't see the sunrise this morning. But hey, the sunrise over the beach is lovely, everyone said. But it's not so lovely when you're there to do a morning TV interview show. So you have to be there, made up, mic'd up, ready to face whatever question might be thrown at you at 6:15 a.m. That's the kind of work that the leadership, the two people I'm here to welcome on stage are doing for you at this conference. That was good media coverage for us back then, just after the first Green surge, when we got to 64,000 members. But now, you can see how many of you are part of it. The second Green surge is just getting started. We're climbing fast towards 6 figures. Imagine, conference, just how good 100,000 members will feel. That means the media coverage is at a whole new scale, and our 2 deputy leaders, like Zach, have been racing from interview to interview, hour after hour. It's hard work to get the Green Party message out like that, and I'm sure you all want to thank them for it. It's hard work that we've all got, conference, to change everything. And yes, that's a little advert for the The second edition of my book is on sale today in the exhibition hall later. But this is the Green Party, the party that is democratic and works for a democratic country. So the leaders are also here at conference for you. Just yesterday I heard Mothin speaking at the UCU Union Fringe on working with trade unions, Rachel at the Rights of Nature Fringe. And you'll see them around the conference all 3 days. Just a tip from my old days. If they have their heads down and are marching furiously, that probably means they're on a way to a media appointment. So please catch them another time. Now, these 2 wonderful deputy leaders of the Green Party of England and Wales need no introduction, but given it's my job description, I'm just going to do it anyway. Mothin Ali was born and grew up in the wonderful city of Sheffield, was elected as a councillor on Leeds City Council in 2024, and the founder of the Dig It Out campaign, which aims to end racism in horticulture. And Rachel Millward is the co-leader on Weldon District Council, our candidate for Mayor of Brighton, Sussex and Brighton. And you know what, conference, remember this, is a great chance to elect Rachel as one of our first Green mayors next year. Go and help her. And she was nominated as a world-changing woman by The Guardian for her work on the Bird's Eye Film Festival. They couldn't be better equipped as a team to talk about the power of community, to break down disillusion with politics, to work towards the world the Green Party is building, a world where everybody makes politics what they do, not have done to them. Please welcome Rachel and Mothin to the stage.
Thank you so much. It is beyond a privilege to be here, to be standing in service to this beautiful, brilliant party. Beautiful, brilliant, and dangerous. Conference, we are now officially the fastest growing political movement in Britain today. As of right now, I can confirm that the Green Party of England and Wales has more members than the Liberal Democrats. Yes! Yes! Woo! It's the moment. Some of you must have been waiting so long for that. There are so many people to thank, and not enough time to name you. Thank you to those who voted for me, for my incredible volunteer team, to my Wealden party, to my, yes, go you, to my family, my partner, my community. None of us does any of this alone. I'll never forget that moment 4 years ago, sitting in conference, listening to Zach, hearing him talk so passionately about the interweaving of the climate crisis and global injustice. And I realized then I had finally found my political home. If I may be so bold, I'd love to share some of my journey here with you. My parents grew up through the Second World War. They saw Europe at its darkest. And then they watched the founding of the welfare state that would keep mum alive as a single parent in the 1960s. They instilled in me a knowledge that progress isn't a given. History is ours to make. My dad, grappling with his success in business and deep socialist principles, taught me that it's good to pay tax because that's how a good society gets built. And that sharing wealth is the best thing about having any. Honestly, I was raised campaigning for a wealth tax. My dad, the MD of a successful business in the 80s, cannot believe the levels of inequality, the obscene excesses of pay and bonuses, and the tax-evading norms that we have plummeted to. So we always talked politics. We went on anti-apartheid protests. We shouted about animal welfare. I joined Greenpeace. Fast forward a couple of decades, past a career of driving change through the arts. I had kids about the same time that climate change started dominating the daily news. For the next 10 years, thinking about the future of my small children, I felt a constant clanging eco-anxiety, the agonizing dissonance of horror headlines and carrying on like nothing had changed. Too overwhelming to face it and impossible to look away. And then Brexit. When the crushing news came through at 4 a.m. on that grim summer's day, it landed in me with a nightmarish combination of grief and regret. I'd started knocking on doors too late, but I did enough to know the difference that listening could make. Where were the town hall meetings? We'd let Farage's lies lead the narrative. History was writing itself around me. But history is ours to write. I resolved then to stand up and be a part of it. I grew up walking in mountains, always happiest when immersed in the outdoors. But I have difficult joints and astonishingly bad knees. And my 20s were a decade of quite severe immobility. I couldn't manage stairs for years. I couldn't walk far, and I was very grateful for my blue badge and adapted car. The physical pain was horrendous at times, but far worse than that was the pain of separation from my community and from nature. Conference, please, let's always make it a priority to find ways to give people with disabilities much better access to both. It was a long time and a few operations before I was sleeping out in the woods again, hearing the owls, aware of the moon as it moved through the night. The comfort of that night was so profound it felt like a homecoming. Rediscovering that sense of belonging has been pivotal in my journey to politics. Tapped into the deep resource of nature, taking action no longer feels like an exhausting, impossible mission. It isn't about guilt or anxiety. It's just a way to keep connecting. And we are all connected. The fight for people and for planet is one and the same. The system that has caused such destruction of nature is the same system that rips us apart from each other. The Green Party will always stand up for nature and communities, people and planet. So one day, a message popped up in my local River Action group. The Green Party were looking for someone to stand in a local by-election nearby. A month later, I was elected. And within 2 years, this small rural party, which had only campaigned for one new councillor at a time, campaigned for 10 and won 11. We won because people in the countryside hate watching the destruction of beautiful green land for inaffordable luxury housing estates that will do nothing to solve the housing crisis. Because they hate a planning system that prioritizes profit over people. And because people who walk by their rivers every day and see the devastating loss of life want an end to water companies profiteering over nature. That moment of boldness in the Wealden Green Party sprung us into shared power in this patch of Sussex after 50 years of Tory rule. And for 2 years now, we've been doing all we can to help people and nature thrive together, investing in affordable housing, health and leisure centres, nature restoration. We've taxed second homes, and we've declared that our rivers deserve rights. How amazing to be able to help Wealden become greener, fairer, and kinder by the day. And this is happening up and down the country. Whilst our government is bowing the knee to irresponsible world leaders, continues to support mass slaughter and starvation in Gaza, and approves climate destruction at Gatwick, our green-led councils have been investing millions in cycling and walking infrastructure, thousands of low-carbon homes for social rent, establishing youth councils, buying land for rewilding, investing in leisure centres, maternity support, community transport. Greens aren't just talking about real hope and real change. We're delivering it. So imagine how much more we will do when we win combined authority mayors, when we're holding the balance of power in the Welsh Senedd, and when there's over 30 of us in Parliament. For the sake of our communities and for nature, we must win in towns, in cities, and in our rural heartlands like we've never won before. And Conference, as the very new candidate for the mayoral authority of Sussex and Brighton, I will do my best to carry on that great Sussex tradition, started by Caroline, of electing Greens. My promise to you, as your deputy leader, is that while Zach's out front, breaking new ground for us, changing the narrative on the national stage, I will help equip this party to win and keep on winning. And to achieve the change that we want, it's going to take every one of us, flying in formation behind Zach. I'll bring you the training and the peer support you need to lead. I'll help us better tell our story. We have the most popular policies. We're delivering so much for our communities, and yet we've hardly begun to share it. There are hundreds of thousands more people who belong here with us. We just need to reach them. And I will do all I can to help us raise the money, but it will take us all. And then there will be a day when we sit our grandchildren on our knees and we tell them, first they came for the immigrants. So we hung out flags from all the nations and we said, refugees are welcome here. They filled our rivers with shit, poisoning the veins and the arteries of these lands. So we became friends of the river, brought the water back under public control, and we gave our rivers rights. They extracted billions from our economy whilst our public services crumbled. So we taxed assets, not work, and revived our welfare state. They tried to take over our media, but the artists, the storytellers, the digital prophets flooded the airwaves with hope. They tried to divide the women because they knew that women have the power to change the world. But we looked our daughters in the eye and we took each other's hands and we set to work. They gathered the richest men on earth to fund their lies, but we gave our fivers and all that we could spare. And because we are many, our fivers became hundreds, the hundreds became millions, and it was enough. They tried to radicalize our young men, spreading misogyny to fuel the army of the far right, but our young Greens, sparkling with brilliance and bravery, showed that another way was possible. They brought hate to our streets, but we remembered that hate cannot drive out hate. So we made them a cup of tea. And we had a chat. And as we listened, we felt fear subside. And they joined the trade union and we fought for our rights together. They thought we would give up, but we kept coming together, picking each other up, fanning the flame, and we never, ever stopped. That is our story, if we choose it now. Right now, the darkness is still descending. But friends, I wish you could see what I can see from here. Because it takes a certain kind of darkness before you can see the stars. Every one of you walk through that door today because you are ready to serve our people and our planet. You each carry the flame of hope. And friends, it's time to blaze. There are no heroes on the way. There's just us and that fire. Together, we've got this. What a time. What a time to be alive. What a moment to be green. Thank you. It's you guys. It's all of you. Woo! Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the greatest pleasures of this last few weeks has been getting to know my fellow leaders. It's an amazing team. It's incredible. And so it's with great joy that I'm now handing over to Mothin.
At least I got me a box this time. So you're all expecting me to say something controversial or, or shout Allahu Akbar. But what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to share a little story with you. And it's one that I think we can all learn something from. Now, I was always an anti-racism campaigner. And about a decade ago, I was working on a campaign around the prevent strategy and laws that institutionalize Islamophobia. And I teamed up with a guy called Shahab, who's now one of our Leeds coordinators, and another guy called Joe Salmon, who's actually a Bournemouth councillor. We organised hustings, deputations to Leeds City Council, and even a conference on Islamophobia. And this is where the Baroness of Manor Castle comes in, our very own Natalie Bennett. So Joe arranged the actual leader of the Green Party to come up and visit us in Leeds and talked about some of the issues that we were facing. And I'm sharing this story not to reminisce, but to highlight something that's quite rare today. The willingness to engage in uncomfortable conversations, to show empathy, to show kindness. And that's something as a society we're fast losing. Something as a party we can teach others. And at that point, I was on the cusp of leaving the Labour Party and joining the Greens. But then something happened. Jeremy Corbyn got elected. And we all know how that turned out. And then to Starmer, who in 2020, during Ramadan, refused to attend an iftar meal. Now, iftar is at the end of fasting, when you sit down with people, regardless of the background, regardless of their political beliefs, regardless of any differences, you sit down and you share and you break bread. But Starmer refused. And he refused because an organization who provided tents to displaced Palestinians was going to be there. And that was it. I couldn't take it anymore. And I did what I should have done 5 years before that. I cut my Labour card up and I joined the Greens. And right now, there'll be lots of people asking the same questions to themselves and wanting to do the same thing. So my question to you is, what's stopping you? Only in the Green Party are you free to speak. Are you free to stand on principle, regardless of whether it's politically convenient or not? In Zach, in Rachel, and in myself, we have a leadership team that's brave, is unapologetic, and unafraid to confront difficult issues. We won't bow down to right-wing pressure or hide away. We're kind, but we're also ready to show our teeth. That's how the Green Party is different. And that's exactly what society needs right now. Last year, we had the Farage riots. This year, we had 150,000 people march through the streets of London behind Tommy Robinson. Across Europe, we've got the rise of the far right. And in America, we've got the rise of Trump's fascism. And I don't use those words lightly. They bear all the hallmarks of fascism. They point at an external threat so they can consolidate power. They point at black and brown people. They point at Muslims. They point at immigrants and say, there's the problem. They're the bad guys, to hide away from their own failures. It wasn't immigrants, it wasn't Muslims, it wasn't black and brown people that privatized our key infrastructure. That sold off our key services and sold off our council houses, that dismantled British industry, that underfunded the NHS. Immigrants are the backbone of the NHS. Now, my dad wasn't a toolmaker. My dad, he made the steel that made the tools. My dad was part of the Windrush generation. And remember, people came from the East and they came from the West, all over the Commonwealth. Like many immigrants of that generation, they worked hard to build this country back up. And my dad literally made the steel that was used to build this country back up. And unlike Labour, we're not going to follow Farage, and we're not going to start blaming immigrants. It's time to celebrate immigrants and not demonize them. Now, for those of you that feel left behind, trust me, I know your struggles. I've lived in poverty. I've lived knowing hunger. I remember having to ration milk in our house so my brothers and sisters could have enough milk for the cereal. I've experienced homelessness. And we thought we'd made it when we got into a council house. Your enemies aren't other poor people. Your enemies are those that extract wealth from our society to fill their coffers. They pay slave wages so they can bump up their bottom line and exploit workers so they can fly in their luxury planes. And as a councillor, it breaks my heart every time I have to pick up the phone and hear of kids not having enough food to eat, kids going hungry, kids not having the right school uniform, not having shoes to put on their feet. It's 2025 and we're one of the richest countries in the world. This shouldn't be happening. We've had 14 years of Tory austerity, followed by another year or so of Labour austerity. kids are going hungry under a Labour government. Can you believe it? We need to end the two-child benefit cap now, not later. The two main parties have failed. They've failed the British people. And it's time for a credible alternative. It's time for people who know their roots, who won't sell out no matter what. If you really want to take this country back, then join me in taking it back from the service of the billionaires to the service of the ordinary people. Now, I couldn't be up here without speaking about Gaza, or as in the news they say, Gaza. The children there are also hungry, and they're also afraid. And I feel sick that this Labour government's lack of action, the way they've stayed silent in the days of escalation, and just an example being how food has been used as a weapon. Now, last year, I stood in front of you at conference, and we passed a historic motion recognizing what's happening in Gaza as genocide. Labour members are just waking up to that. So once again, where we lead, others follow. Now, I want you to look around. I mean, really look around. Put your glasses on if you need to. Look around at the people sat next to you. These are the people on your team. These are the people who have given up their time. They've given up their free time. They're giving up their own money to stand with you and say, we're not going to stand by while Labour take us for granted. We will take care of our communities. We will stand up to the racists and the homophobes, because that's what we want, a society that looks after each other. We want a society where our children can go to the best schools. We want our sick to be treated in the best hospitals. We want clean neighborhoods. We want a set of universal basic services now. Not having these things is a political choice. So when they say there's no money, what they really mean is there's no money for you. There was money for the banks when they needed bailing out. There's money for tax breaks for the billionaires and the mega corporations. And there's always money for war. It's time for our governments to start putting us first. It's time for our governments to put our futures first. And it's time for the rich to pay. So when I was writing this speech, my son asked me, "Dad, are you a good politician?" My answer was slightly different. I said, probably not. But I tried to be a good man. And And that's all that any of us can do. Try to be the best versions of ourselves and stand up for what's right. Now, I'm going to invite Zach and I'm going to invite Rachel on the stage with me because I want to share something from my culture. So if you'd like to come up here. Now, these garlands, they're a symbol of love. They're a symbol of celebration. They're a symbol of unity. And they're a symbol of a strong bond. And that's what we've got. And where's Harriet? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you. Up here. Get up here with us, come on. Get up here. And that's it. What a wonderful team we've got.